Welcome to the NDE WORLD Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome to the NDE WORLD Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis. And with me in the studio today, we have my lovely hostess, Miss Daphne Lynn. Hello, Miss Daphne Lynn. How are you today, girl?
I'm doing really good. How about yourself?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic.
That is always so good to hear.
Yeah. We have a really good podcast laid out today. The topic of religion comes up a lot, and
it does
within the context of NDEs. Mm-hmm. And so we have covered this topic in the past from different perspectives, and this is going to be another different perspective, but it is a word that comes up a lot. It does mean a lot to a lot of people. So we're going to kind of like look into it, maybe try to find out what the roots are, and then kind of give you more of a near-death experience perspective on, what we call the actual word religion or, religion.
Yes, exactly. And of course, we have taken a question from groups out there pertaining to near-death experiences and the afterlife, and we got some answers that are amazing. Mm-hmm. So these answers and the topic may go against your now belief system, and if that is the case, then don't judge it, but be open-minded and open-hearted about it, because you can grow, you can learn at all stages of your life. Never be so closed-minded that you think that you are where you need to be, because you can't grow like that.
True. Very good point.
Yeah, so today's topic, put your boots on, y'all. Let's dig in.
Y'all put your boots on. Gonna get deep.
Very good. So again, it's about religion, and we are not religion bashers on here. I love people of all backgrounds, and all walks of faith and walks of life. Walks of religion. So let's put that out there up front. And something to keep in mind, when you're really talking about the word religion, I think what we'll do is we'll just set the stage. That way we all know exactly what we're talking about. And what we'll do is we'll go back to the actual roots of the word religion, where it came from, and how it plays its part in today's world and things like that. So. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. And don't forget to go to the website at NDE.world. That is?
NDE.world.
For more information on what we do and our podcasts and episodes and all that really cool stuff. So let's jump right into it here. Let's take a step back, since this is a religion-based question. Before we actually read the question and start, covering the comments, let's take a step back, and I want to read something here that we brought up from ChatGPT. And we went and kind of did some research on what is the actual word religion's roots. What did it really mean in the beginning? Where did it come from? And things like that. So I want to read that with you. It's just a couple little paragraphs here. So just to kind of set the stage when we're talking about religion, so we'll know where we're all at.
Right. And when I was in religion, I never really knew the definition of this until I came out of religion, what its origins were. So you can always learn and grow at all stages of your life if you're open to it.
Yes. So let's break it down right here. It says that the word religion has its roots in the Latin word religio, which originally meant, quote unquote, to bind. Okay. We're not going to go deep into that, but we'll leave that up to you. We may look into that farther, but all I'm doing is just reading here. Mm-hmm. But that's what it meant, to bind, or quote unquote, to connect. Okay. In ancient Rome, it was used to describe the rites and rituals performed to honor the gods and maintain a proper relationship with the divine. All right. So do you understand where the roots of this stuff is coming from? Religion is a ritual based on rites and rituals performed by other people in the past to worship their gods and to maintain proper relationship with their deities. Yeah. So over time, the meaning of quote unquote religion evolved to encompass a broader range of beliefs, practices and rituals associated with worship, morality, ethics, and spirituality. Today, religion typically refers to a system of beliefs, practices, and moral values centered around the worship of a deity or deities, as well as the adherence to specific teachings or doctrines. The purpose of religion varies depending on cultural, historical, and individual context. Generally, religion serves to provide answers to fundamental questions about the meaning and purpose of life, offer guidance on moral and ethical conduct, foster a sense of community and belonging among its adherents, and provide comfort and solace in times of difficulty or uncertainty. Additionally, religions often play a role in shaping societal norms, values, and institutions.
Wow.
So let's get, if you don't mind, Daphne, what was you
Okay.
going to say there? Something about, let's get some clarity on exactly what religion is so we know where to start with this.
My comment was this, and the overall of this answer about what religion is, where it come from, is not about where it came from, but where it says that it was to provide answers to fundamental questions about the meaning and purpose of life. I have learned more about the meaning and purpose of life not being under a set rules from the church,
Right.
not under the rules from the Bible, but in learning from these people who have had these experiences and tasted
Real-life experiences.
and have glimpses into that next life, that real life.
Right.
Because life is all energy. We just transform. Energy can't die.
Yeah.
So I have learned more coming out of religion than I ever knew when I was in it. And I have grown so much. And, that's what I want for everybody. It's just to be able to grow and experience life in a way that is so profound that you stop and go, wow, yourself.
Right.
I mean, because life is beautiful when you can get rid of the judgmental attitudes, the condemnations, the them versus us. I mean, your life profoundly changes, dear God. I cannot stress this enough.
It does.
It does. If you are in the church and you are having those profound aha, wow moments, by all means, continue on. It's what brings you closer to source. We are not religion bashers here, but we want to make people aware of where religion stems from, and that from NDEers' perspectives, from majority,
If not
there
all,
is, if not all, religion
does not exist.
does not exist on the other side.
Very well
And that's
said.
what we want to let people be aware of, that you can follow your religion. If it brings you closer to Creator, makes you a better person, by all means, yes, do that. But don't condemn anyone.
Right.
Don't judge anyone. Let everybody be who they are.
Right. Don't.
And live the best life that they can live, because ultimately, it's their walk.
That's right.
What is it to you or me or anybody else?
I think to go with that, people really need to understand and really meditate and really go into a deep level into the concept of free will.
Yes.
Okay. Once you understand the concept of free will, you understand you don't have to push your beliefs on other people. You don't have to
Right.
kill other people because they don't share your beliefs.
You don't have to make
go to
disciples.
war. Yeah, you don't have to do all this kind of stuff because other people don't share your beliefs.
Right.
And the truth is, yes. Well, I don't want to
It's
get
not
too
about numbers.
sidetracked, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's not. But let's kind of focus on focus on the subject at hand here. This all
let's
kind of
get
ties in
into,
together.
Let's get into today's question, because I was just kind of browsing over it, and there are some awesome, profound answers from the groups, from people who have had these experiences and
Yeah.
are sharing their knowledge.
Perfect. Well, before you read the question, I want to go ahead and just throw a little comment on the other part we just read, just for people to think about and understanding, to be able to. You have to be able to understand, to separate religion from spirituality. Okay, spirituality. When we talk about spirituality, we have to all understand that we are all one. We are all a spiritual being having its experience here
Yes.
in so many different forms and ways and things like that. We have to understand that first concept, okay? What we call that oneness, And in spirituality, the oneness, what we all call, that we're all part of, that God, that source, whatever, is here, always has been, always will be. It's that Alpha Omega. It's that source. So we have been here as spirituality, as spirit, as source, as energy since the beginning of the beginning, okay? Keep that in mind. Religion has, a few thousand-year history here on Earth where man has tried to figure out ways to express and try to, make sense of the bigger things in life, and thunder in the sky. They said it was, the gods are fighting, or I've even heard as a kid growing up, the devil's beating his wife. Have you ever heard that one?
Have, yes.
I know that, as stupid as that sounds.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember that, and I have no idea where that just came from, by the way. So, when I was a kid, I remember people saying that, so you can see how people would create all these gods and everything. And, gods are created in the image of man. And you got to understand that in the beginning, man created the gods, or created God, but in the really, really beginning, there only is the source energy, the all that is love, that is pure energy, unconditional love.
That is in everything and everyone.
Absolutely.
There's no separation.
You can't get away from that.
You have to realize that you, yourself, are God.
Right.
But not the creator
not from
of
the ego sense.
The ego sense.
You won't get that if you're seeing it from ego.
Oh my gosh! When you can accept that, because I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, I gasped.
Blasphemy!
Yes, I did. I was like, I can't listen to this. Oh my gosh!
Guys, there's the devil.
Yeah. So so I turned it off, and I didn't listen to that program from that one thing, and it was an awesome program up to that point, and I was like, oh, I'm learning so much from this, and then that statement came across, and I shut it down.
Right. And it's very common.
It is
with everybody.
What resonates
that's learning
with,
this stuff, yeah.
It's what resonates with you, and when you can accept that and
You'll
know,
it'll
be the time that is right for you.
A time for everything.
That's right.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into today's question here, and we'll start going into the actual comments. How's that?
Yes, that's wonderful. And of course, we gather questions that are really profound from different platform groups out there where people are wanting to have answers to things. So this question is, and y'all put your boots on for the answers.
Y'all put your boots on. Gonna get deep.
What happens when you die if you're not a religious person? My dad wasn't religious, so I would like to know what he may have experienced. If you can help, please.
Wow, imagine how this poor soul feels, okay?
Worrying about her father.
Not knowing much about, the afterlife, spirituality, religion, or anything like that, and they think, on some level, well, you've got to be a religious person, or my dad wasn't a religious person.
So what's going to happen to him?
What's happening? What could we be experiencing? Imagine what's going on through this poor soul's being, because they don't really have a clear understanding of what's happening, with everything.
Yeah, that brings stress and negativity to the person because of the way her father lived his life.
Yeah, wow. So it's a good question. So the question is, what happens when you die if you are not a quote-unquote religious person? Keep in mind, religious. Okay, religious means that you support a certain religion or a certain set of beliefs, okay? Once a person becomes one and understands that they are the all and they are one with all, they also understand that they no longer need to follow any type of man-made religion or any kind of structured doctrine or dogma. You don't have to. You just have to be. You have to love, and you harm none, and you bring peace and love to every soul that you see, you come in contact with, every animal, all life, all creation, all humanity. That's what you do. It's not about the religion you belong to. It's not about any of that, which you're going to find out here shortly in these actual NDE comments and stuff. You see, these people who actually had near-death experiences, how they come back and, share this with us, that there really is no religion on the other side. But if it helps you on this side, to grow as a better person, by all means, go for it. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
So,
Who are we to condemn? I'm not going to condemn. I mean, if that's what brings you closer to Source,
your higher self,
to grow and love more,
do it.
by all means, do it. Yes,
My
do it
hat's off to you.
wholeheartedly.
Yes. And I love Jesus. I love the character. I love who he represents and all. You know, I'm not a Christian, you know, in the religious sense, okay, because in my belief system, you know, Christian or Christianity, that it has roots as well.
Right.
That's different from today's modern Christianity, from a religious perspective.
You just made me think of something when you said that you're not claiming to be Christian. I can remember when I was in the church, I was in the Word all the time. Myself, I felt uncomfortable calling myself a Christian because of looking around at seeing what so many people were doing in the name of Christianity. So I even when I was in the church, I did not call myself a Christian, and I still don't.
Yeah.
Because I see with open eyes now and open heart.
Disclaimer: there are super awesome, wonderful souls out there who are Christian now. Let's stand up for the people who are doing right, regardless of your religion.
Yeah.
However, you know, there is always. Every coin has another side to it. You know, flip that coin around.
Flip it.
You know, anytime you're dealing with any of that, just be careful when it comes to religion, because, like we said, we were here billions of years before religion ever came along.
Yes.
Understand that you are God. You are a spiritual being. You're a soul experiencing life here on earth. You know, in the physical world, this physical realm, and religion is some kind of man-made construct we all came up with to control. You know, that's a whole different subject. You know. But the comment to this question, the first comment says, what happens when you die if you're not a religious person? The first comment says that you find total peace. Religion is an earthly concept designed to create fear so that total control of the masses can be achieved.
Yeah, I mean, straight and to the point. I get that. I understand it.
Earlier, yeah.
But what I appreciate about all of this comment is you find total peace. No matter what life you have lived, good or bad, in the terms that we know, peace is what is there. Not condemnation. Not fear. Not
control.
Torment, punishment, but total peace. Total peace. I mean, oh my gosh, can you imagine? It's hard to do.
It's hard.
Yeah. So, wow.
And all the tons of the actual NDEs that we've actually studied, that, you know, people come back, and that is one of the things first and foremost up in the front is that level of unconditional love and that peace and that, you know, feeling of being at home. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
And I think that the feeling of being home comes from you reconnecting with Source, which is you. Because you're a piece of Source to experience things to bring back to Source.
You are.
So I think that's why you have that sense of being home, because you were there before you were ever here.
All for one and one for all. That's the mindset you guys got to start getting into, okay? All for one for all. Y'all repeat after me. You ready?
All for one and one for all.
Start thinking every time you look at something, let that phrase pop up in your head. When you see another person, regardless of who they are, regardless of how they look, regardless of where they come from, the color of their skin, their country they live on, whatever, anything, it doesn't matter. You know, look at them and say, all for one and one for all. You know, look at them animals out there, all for one for all.
Everything
you've got to get into the mindset that we are all one. Mm-hmm. And we are all in this together. And once we all start changing our mindset, we have to start with ourselves. And we say that all the time on here. And if we can do this forest one tree at a time, you know, and start telling everybody, we're all in this together. All for one for all. Change yourself, work on yourself, you know, get yourself fixed, and then jump in the boat with us. Let's all work on this together and, you know, and make it happen. You know, because it's going to have to be a conscious vibration. We're going to have to lift the conscious vibration of the whole earth. You know, Mother Earth is suffering a lot right now because of all the little parasites and the fleas and the ticks and the varmints and stuff that's all over her. And
we are the vermin people.
Yes. You choose. You can either be a vermin or, you know.
I mean, really, think about this. Of all creation out here, there is nothing on this plane that is causing destruction other than us humans. These animals out here are not causing destruction and killing and doing things like the humans are. These trees, these plants, the stars, the sun, the moon, nothing is causing
Everything is doing its
destruction
job except
but us.
That's right. We have mastered the art of destruction. Now it's time to love.
That's right. It's time to let go of
The garbage.
all of that.
That's right. That's right. Moving right on along, Daphne, would you like to take the next one? And here's a comment about the Great Spirit or the Great Source.
Yes, yes. The Great Spirit accepts you for who you are, not who you impress. The American Indians are the same way.
Well, and that might be why I feel the same way, and maybe why you feel the same way. We both have Indian ancestry in us, But yes, and the Indians were people of the land, and they lived a whole different world before.
Yeah, touching on this as well, the Great Spirit, and the American Indians, and you touched on it, is the how connected with nature that they were and are. And that is where we need to get back to, living that way. And I just got a book in, based on the connection with nature, animals speak. Yeah, it covers that connection, the way the animals can teach us lessons and everything.
Lost knowledge that they all used to know.
Yes, the spiritual meaning of everything, yeah.
So very good, very good. Moving right on along, and this next comment says that the majority of near-death experiencers express that life after death is pure love. Mm-hmm. Okay? Most seem to have a life review where they experience the good and bad effects that they have had on others. They judge themselves whilst being held in pure love. Let me repeat that, guys. But let me finish this statement, then I'm going to back and repeat it. It goes on. It says that we come from love, we return to love. That is so beautiful. It keeps on going. Let me finish this and I'll come back. It says that this is a love that doesn't divide people into religious groups.
Wow.
Or questions whether or not you are saved, as humans like to do. It is love. Full stop. Vast and wondrous.
Wow.
We get that all the time. We come from love. We go back to love. Okay. I like how it touches base on the life review, where you actually experience the good and bad, how you've dealt, that to others, and we know that how that goes there. And you actually, in a sense, judge yourself. Okay. But I love that while the whole time you're being held in pure love, there's no judgment there, and that's the beauty of it. And I've heard so many stories where it's overbearing for a lot of people when you look back and see what you've done to people.
Yes.
But I've heard time and time again that you had that support crew there, either certain beings, it could be a spiritual being, it can be whatever. There's so many different stories, but there's somebody or someone or some things, plural could be, there with you, supporting you while you're going through all this. It's not like you're up there, all eyes on you, and you're getting
about to lower the axe.
Yeah, so I think that's beautiful how it says that we're love. And we came from love and we go back to love.
That's what we have to realize, is there's no condemnation on the other side.
No, and there's no condemnation in love.
Exactly.
And there's lots of condemnation in religion, so that's why you have to question, some religions and some of their motives.
Right. I like the very end of this comment that says, this is a love that doesn't divide people into religious groups or questions whether or not you are saved.
Right, as humans like to do.
Yeah, and that's that religious, where man came in and changed to control, to instill fear.
Correct.
We've got to get away from the fear part.
Yeah, well, first of all, you don't have to be saved because you're not going to be judged.
What is it? Exactly. What is there to be saved from?
When you start to break down the concept and the roots and really look at the roots where all of this stuff came from, okay? When you're looking for some kind of way to control the masses, okay, let's say you're the king. We're going to use emperor because that's the proper term when all this took place. All right, now you've got a kingdom that you've got to come in here and take control over, okay? Mm-hmm. And this kingdom is made up of all kind of people with all kind of different beliefs, all kind of different religions, okay, all kind of different practices and stuff like that. And not only do they have this, but there's a lot of turmoil because there's conflict between a lot of these groups, all right?
Yep.
Your job as emperor we need to get this under control.
Yep.
All right. What do we need to do to create or to unite these people here?
To bind.
To bind. Very good. Thank you. To connect. Okay. And yes, Rome. If you want to go more deeper, Roman Emperor Constantine.
Yep.
So what Constantine did, he brought in a lot of these religious people and these church
from the different
backgrounds and things like that. When you read the story, it's really fascinating.
It is. It's amazing.
Especially when he stepped into the scene. It says that when he walked into the room, he was decked out like a god himself.
He was grandiose.
He was so adorned with all kind of purple and this giant robe and this big old crown. And he said he was sparkling like from another world. He comes in there and everybody's just quiet. And it's like, okay, we know who the boss is. And he just comes in and sits down and don't say nothing. Okay. So they go and do all what they need to do. And anyway, there's doctrines in there that Constantine himself actually said one or two things, and they went with it regardless. But the belief system, the Bible itself, where we get our modern day Bible from, you have to understand, was chosen by a bunch of people who said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put something together. Not only that, but we're going to also write things to actually support what we're doing here. Okay. So they created what's called Christianity. Okay. Christianity was based on several gods and several mythologies and several people from the past. Okay. You have Horus and Osiris and all of the Egyptian stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes. You've got the Jesus or Yeshua, the one who taught the way. He was more of a Buddhist. Okay. He would have no clue what Christianity is, So, I'm sure we're going to cover that here in this, episode. Yeah. But the point is, you have to understand where a lot of this came from and how all of this stuff was all put together to form a group, to create a God that they can all come to worship. Okay. Mm-hmm. There were no Christians. People up to that point were really called the Way, or actually followers of the Way. The Way has been here since the beginning of time. The Way is the way to live in harmony with nature. And that's what the real Jesus taught. Okay. Christianity came in 300 and plus years later. I want to say 325. You want to look at the First Council of Nicaea, and I don't want to get off track with that. Books that's episode after episode. We don't want to get none of that. But the truth is, you have to understand religion and what religion has done,
is
doing, and the power that religion has over mankind in this realm.
Yes.
Never underestimate that. Religion is God. It is the power on this earth right now. So you have to be careful and put religion in its place. Take back your power and understand, no, I don't need religion. Okay, right. But that's not an excuse to do evil or to do bad.
Right.
Okay, but neither is religion an excuse to do good. You see, you have it already in you to do good.
You're
you just
born
have to
with everything you need.
Absolutely. So, moving right on along. Hopefully I didn't get too sidetracked, guys. I do that sometimes. But some of those subjects there, we'll bring them up in some future episodes because it really gets deep.
It is.
Especially if you start getting to the history of the church and how it was all formed and how it all started. And it's deep, guys. But you got to really want to look into the history.
It is.
So, moving on along, Daphne.
Yeah, and this one is a little winded. So, religion is man-made. It's fear-mongering and control. And I believe the Christian God is the same creator, same source energy that we who hope or believe in something differently believes in. But the man-made concepts are centuries of edits that have been used to forge kingdoms on earth, not the kingdom of heaven. One God, one people. In my dreams, a state of sleep, paralysis, and lucid dreaming, and OBEs, I've made contact with other realms. Souls all look the same, but different to each person. Example. When you look at a soul, you know who it is. You see their image of how you remembered them in life. Your grandma looks as you remember her, but to her parents, she looks as they remember her. Naked, we are stripped of human bodies, entirely just an energetic force that is interpreted by those we've known in worldly existences by our own minds. I wonder if that too is what our surroundings will reflect. Heaven then could be practical for one and Valhalla for another. I believe our soul families return to the places and live in our creations of our own belief systems, and amongst those we know when we are in between realms. Now, one thing right here that I'm just going to, as I was reading it, I thought of one of our guests we're going to be having on. Naked, we are stripped of our human bodies. Who does that remind you of? So yeah, this is a flesh suit. So we go back to that pure energy, that the spiritual, the soul.
The real you.
The real you.
The person that when you see and hear these out-of-body experiences, these OBEs, that's the person that comes out of the body and experiences,
that's
what's happening down there.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, the one that floats to the top of the ceiling and is looking down and watching everything happen to the body. Yeah, that's the you we're talking about. Yeah. So let's break this down, Daphne. This has a lot of good comments, actually. The first one, religion is man-made. Okay, and that's pretty obvious. We kind of covered that earlier.
Yeah. In reading this, it so reminded me of what you had just commented on, because this person says, but the man-made concepts are centuries of edits that have been used to forge kingdoms on earth.
Wow, think about that.
Really? So
Not the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
Yeah, because the kingdom of heaven is within. And all these kingdoms that were built on religion were built on external sources, to control the people. Now you have to go through us now. Oh, better yet, let's just create a God for them. No, you've got to go through our God, okay? Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, they don't really need our God. Well, what would they need our God for? They got their own gods, huh? What about the afterlife? Oh, yeah, afterlife. How can we tap into that? Let's see. Good and bad. How about heaven and hell? Okay, so now we got that. We got the control of heaven and hell. We got our character in place. Now, when you die, everybody knows you're going to die. We have a market that you can tap into that you can actually be saved. Okay. Oh, wait. Why do they need to be saved? Okay. Well, Oh, there needs to be somebody judged. You got to be judged for your good and bad. That's right. So we need to have a judgment. Okay. And that way, when whoever is judged a certain way, good or bad, we can either go to heaven. Okay. Or you can either burn and be tormented in hell. Okay.
Which creates fear.
But don't fear, because we have an external source that you can go through. We have Jesus.
Gotta go through these rules.
Yeah. You have to go through this, So now they put together the Bible. They write scriptures in there that's like, I am the way and the truth. The Father and I are one. Well, yes.
We all are
one.
We
all are one. He just knew it. That's the difference between him and you.
Right. And, tying in with this comment, that God that's external from us, not the God within, but the external is what this person says, that they believe that the Christian quote unquote God is the same creator, same source energy that we who hope or believe in something differently believes in. The many different paths, no matter where you live, you're taught some kind of religious doctrine. That is true for this group. This is true for that group. So you're telling me that there's only one path for all humanity. I don't believe that.
I was indoctrinated with that for years. I used to believe that. I don't believe that anymore.
I don't either. It depends on where you're
Mainly
born.
because I went into the stuff that has been banned from the public. I was fortunate enough to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So I'm talking from firsthand experience. Yeah, from firsthand experience stuff that I can't even talk to a lot of people in public about. All right, so
I know, yeah.
This stuff, when you understand how the wool has been pulled over everybody's eyes and everybody is being deceived by religion, you'll understand a whole lot more why the world's in the shape it's in and why religion is probably about 99.9% of that.
You get rid of religion and you would have a whole lot better world.
The real Yeshua, the real Jesus taught God within, okay? They taught the way. He taught how to eat, how to live, how to treat others. He taught you how to be God. He taught you the divine within you. He taught you how to find and how to be that light. Let your light shine, And he would even, talk and pray or however you want to say, communicate with Source. He understood the oneness. And he understood that the religion, even at that time, he was butting heads with who? Religion. Mm-hmm. So the religion is what was causing all the problems. If you want to even look into the biblical story, or if you want to take however you want to take that and look into it,
Right.
So he was teaching a certain thing, but when you start looking into it, and then somewhere down the line, I have no idea how it happened, but he got turned into a god himself, and people began to worship him, and that is so far away from the meaning of what he brought here, his message that he brought here. You know, he taught something totally different.
If you really do the research on the character that you're talking about, it was not deceased at 33 years old.
Right. I want to say his 70s, wasn't it?
70s, 80s. I mean,
there.
there's a lot of information out there on it. You just have to dig, put your boots on and dig for it. Okay. Yeah. So, anyway, that aside.
That's a deep, deep subject.
It is very deep. So, I wanted to comment here on the part where this person actually has, like, sleep paralysis and lucid dreaming and OBEs. Okay, and this person says that they have made contact with other realms. Souls all look the same, but different to each person. Yeah, so this is actually reminding me of the Journey of Souls book, where the souls, depending on maturity and how many lives the soul has had and lived.
It's like different colors or something.
Yeah, exactly. They're different colors. They radiate different vibrations as well, and that is what reflects the color. So anyway, it's a lot to process and everything. So, but get the book, Journey of Souls, and read it. It breaks down soul contracts, the soul itself, what it is, what it looks like, how it's different for each person. But it has been a really good book. I'm about 3/4 of the way through of it, and I'm really enjoying it. I have learned a lot from it.
Yeah, we also have plans for probably do a whole episode just on that book alone.
A soul contract, yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah, the Journey of the Soul.
Yes.
The book itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, alrighty. Any more comments on that right there before we move on along?
Oh no, that was pretty much what I was picking out of that and seeing.
Would you like to throw in a quick comment on there where it says, "I often wonder if that too is what our surroundings will reflect." It says here that heaven then could be practical for one and Valhalla for another. Could you tell us a little bit about that? What that word means, in case somebody heard it.
For somebody that doesn't know what that is, Valhalla is Norse mythology, and that is where souls who were heroes who were slain in battle are received. So it's a place of honor and glory and happiness in heaven. So
gotcha. Okay, perfect. Well, let's move right on along. Now, looking at the clock, we've got time for one more, and we've got a few more comments here than we have for time to allot for. Let's go ahead and just break this up into another episode, or if we can, we might even get another 2 or 3 out of it. So whatever it's going to be is what it's going to be. But let's go ahead and finish up with this one here, and then we'll wrap this up, and then we'll just pick up with this next comment on another episode.
Yeah, that sounds good. So this one, straight and to the point. What happens to a religious person are more or less the same as for a non-religious person.
Absolutely. To go with that comment, it's religion has nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
It's everything on this side. Religion is.
It's human construct for us to have
to grow spiritually.
To grow spiritually, yes. Thank you.
It's supposed to be that.
Supposed to be that.
But you don't need it.
But for myself, my walk, and it's just my walk. I'm not condemning anybody that chooses to go through religion. But for myself, my own experience, I have grown more and have gotten more open-minded and can love more than what I did when I was in the church, when I was in religion. I feel like I have grown so much more having come out of religion.
Yes, I agree. I can totally relate 1,000%.
Right.
So with that thought in mind, we love you guys so much, and we're going to go ahead and just pick up with this episode, or this subject, should I say, on some next episode, should I say. Is there any final comments that you'd like to add or say before we wrap things up?
This very last one on this page, so we can pick up on the next page when we
let's
pick up with the next episode.
A little bonus comment. What does it say?
Bonus comment. Heaven isn't interested in man-made religions.
Wow. I like that. So that's the perfect note to close on.
Exactly.
Just keep that in mind, guys. The afterlife, or what we call heaven, that's what the afterlife is.
Meditate on all this. Be open-minded about it. I mean, because...
It's not interested in your man-made religions. It's not.
No.
And neither should you be. But you should be interested in love. And that's what heaven is. So with that thought in mind, we love you. And may peace be with you all until next time.
Y'all let your light shine.
For more information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.